Are these painting tools innovations or just some as seen on TV gimmicks? Let's find out on Modern Builds. So this is the first tool we're testing and it comes in at $50 on Amazon. This is so cool, check it out. It's got 2 rollers and it's supposed to feed paint out of the head here. Something that's definitely worth noting is this had 2.5 stars on Amazon. So I've got my fingers crossed that this is worth it and we're gonna find out. Minor assembly required. So the thing I'm starting to wonder is how does this connect to that with no wires? You might have just gotten scammed, Gerefet. There's no electronics in here. It's not like there's a pump. The only thing I can think is maybe this is a pump that shoots air through the handle. That kind of sounds like way more engineering than I would expect for 50 bucks. Here we go. It's doing something. Maybe it is pushing air. I don't think it's doing anything. So the paint comes out of here and you load it into there. The paint should come out of this tube, and then I see this little hose, which might be a vacuum hose from the handle. Yes, I was suspicious, but nevertheless, we filled it up to test it out. And we'll pop it closed. Okay, I'm nervous to flip this over because part of me believes it might just start spilling out as soon as gravity lets it. Barely spilled. That's at least worth 4 stars. So now what happens when we press the trigger? Any minute now. Let me turn the flow up real quick. There's no way this is doing anything. Whoa, did you see a bubble there? Oh, check it out, it's working! Okay, let's go! Okay, so you can't move too fast, but so far so good. And I'm getting a good finish with these rollers. This is so legit! I was not expecting this to work. The double roller is giving a surprisingly decent finish. If I was getting a little bit more paint out of it, I wouldn't complain. It's still coming out slowly but surely, so now I'm gonna turn the pump off. Nice. And spread all this out. My favorite thing about this might just be the double roller. This is cool. Call me surprised. Dude, who would have thought? When I painted this wall, it used about half of the paint that I loaded into the automatic roller. That means this should cover about 150 square feet if my math is correct. And that's not too bad. I don't think I would want it to hold more paint because then it would probably get heavy. So I think we need to talk. This works way better than I thought. Do I think it's worth 50 bucks? I don't think it's worth more than 50 bucks, I'll say that. It's very far from heavy duty. Like I mentioned before, I thought it was just gonna be a larger tool. But for 50 bucks, the other side of me just thought it was gonna be a trash gimmick. I think the fair criticism would be the pump is not that aggressive. I've got this turned all the way up on 5, and I wish the paint was coming out about twice as fast. That way I could load up my wall more quickly and then smooth it out really fast. The other downside is it's just cheap plastic. You know it when you use it. It makes this tool affordable, but I wouldn't trust this to paint a whole house. I mean, you see that? This comes with your standard 3/8 inch nap roller, which is a go-to for most walls if you've got a light orange peel texture, even a medium texture, but they are specialty rollers, so that's something to keep in mind too. On this side, you can work into a corner pretty well. A lot of times you'll get a line on the outside edge of your roller, but something about this is just leaving me with a really nice finish. So it's finally time to answer innovation or gimmick. I say somewhere in between. I wouldn't buy this again, but if you want to have some fun painting, this is a really great value, and I could see this being a lot of fun with friends or family. But if you're a contractor or you're a homeowner really trying to save time, I don't know that this is going to get you there. I'm going to leave this 4 stars on Amazon. I think it's worth it. Tool number 2 is coming in at half the cost as our first one, and it's from the name we can trust. So this is the Wagner Smartroller, and it costs $25.50 on Amazon currently. The handle of this tool fills up with paint and then you squeeze the trigger and it's supposed to come out of a perforated roller. This piece goes into your paint container like that, and then you can fill it up.
And this totally reminded me of one of those water guns that you fill up the same way.
Whoa! Didn't spill a drop. All right, we're locked and loaded. Now let's see how it goes. Oh, I see it moving. I hear it.
And the roller soaked up the majority of what we loaded into the tube.
Online, this says it can do about 70 square feet per charge, and I have an 80 square foot wall right here. The second bold claim that Wagner makes is that this is twice as fast as traditional rolling. Okay, let's get squeezing. Overall, I would say it's pretty ergonomic. It's not like hard work to press the handle. So right away, this is doing way better than our last roller. I feel like I am blazing through this wall. And it only cost half as much. I'm getting in the corner and I can still pump it. So just like before, we've got all of our paint spread on, and now I'm just gonna go back over it and back roll it smooth. And I truly believe we have more than twice as thick of a coat than we did with that cheap Amazon roller. Sick. I do think I have one fair criticism. Wagner, don't be upset, but they only make 3/8 inch nap rollers, and I've got a perfectly smooth skim-coated wall. And for that, you should really use a 1/4 inch nap roller. But unfortunately, Wagner doesn't make perforated foam rollers in that nap. So even though this worked awesome and it would be great for a light or medium texture, I'm gonna need to back roll all of this with a 1/4 nap manual roller.
The Wagner was even faster than option 1, and after I back rolled it, it looked really nice with this skim coat.
So the 70 square foot claim seems to be accurate. Now I just did math in my head, but like I said, I think I have 80 square feet on this wall. And I'm empty. Awesome. That means I can do this whole wall and only need to load up one time, which is completely reasonable. For $25, this blows option number 1 out of the water. Looking back, I do not recommend that whatsoever. My honest Amazon rating for this is gonna be 5 stars. This is so easy to load, you won't have to use paint trays, which saves a little bit of money and keeps you from making a mess. But Wagner, I know you sponsored Modern Builds content in the past. I don't wanna say anything mean, but you've gotta make a few different nap rollers. Maybe a 1/4 inch and then a 3/4 inch. That way someone with really heavy texture or really smooth walls can get a really good experience out of this. But that's not gonna affect my review because the tool itself is awesome. The only thing I could criticize is the roller itself. 5 stars, onward. In life, I'm trying to be a little more responsible, not waste tools, clean things after I'm done, and you'll definitely wanna clean this tool up if you're planning on using it again.
And now, I finally could use it like a water gun.
Ugh. Like I said, responsible. And tool number 3 is coming right after this break. So today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. And here on Modern Builds, we are all about DIY. So if you need a website or an online store, why not build it yourself using Squarespace? And the best part is you need 0 website building experience. Squarespace's designer templates look great on desktop, tablet, and mobile no matter where customers find you, and they are packed with tons of great features like no limits to the number of products that you can sell using a Squarespace store. There's also the Squarespace Video Studio mobile app that allows you to create high-level, professional video content for your website and social media. And don't forget member areas, where you can put premium content behind a paywall, charging your members a monthly subscription fee. Now, if you're interested in learning more, make sure and follow my link in the description that is squarespace.com/modernbuilds, where you can build out your entire Squarespace site before entering any of your credit card info. And then when it's time to make your website live, don't forget to use my code, ModernBuilds, for 10% off your first site, store, or domain through Squarespace. One more huge thanks, now let's get back to the builds. Let's get back to the product review. See ya. Tool number 3 is the Wagner SIDEKICK. That is a lot like our last tool, except all you have to do is press a button and it feeds from a 5-gallon bucket automatically. Yes, I am aware that this is 2 Wagner products, but I wanted to make sure at least one thing was good, so I went with a couple of name brand tools. If you're mad about it, leave a comment below, but I don't care. I'm excited to try this tool out, and I think it's gonna be really, really neat, especially since the last one went well.
You just want to plop the tube into your paint bucket, and that's what it feeds from. Turn it on by pressing the handle on the roller, and you can see the paint feed through the tube. How cool is that?
Looks like it's working. Our tube is filling up. I'm gonna put this on a broom handle, and we're gonna try it out. Oh, it's working. This is just the coolest thing. Is it gonna stop? It's not stopping. Oh, I might have like held it down and it might have been doing that. Idiot. I think that was a user mistake. I'll find out. Cool, let's do it. So you press it and it stays on until you press it for a second time. That makes sense. That's actually really nice because then if you're doing a big wall or a really tall wall, you can be up here holding your handle and the paint can still be coming out. I was a big fan of the last tool. I thought it was awesome. And this is really the next level up. So instead of 25 bucks, this one costs 100. You can also get attachments for a paint sprayer that basically does the same thing, but that's about the same price. And with this, it's all in one. You don't need a compressor. You don't need an airless sprayer system. I'm impressed so far. Just like before, I'm not gonna reduce Wagner's rating for not having a 1/4-inch roller, but as a mostly satisfied customer, I do recommend supplying them, or at least letting me know where to get them, because I couldn't really find them anywhere. This is the bomb. I would have dipped into a tray 5 times already, and I haven't even stopped. So the big problem with tool number 1 is the paint didn't dispense fast enough. This solves that by 1,000. And then you just flip the roller over if you have to get close to an edge, because this piece does extend pretty far over, but it doesn't seem to limit the functionality at all. And for anybody relatively new to painting, it's not best to do a super thick coat, although it's kind of tempting with a tool like this. If the last tool was twice as fast as traditional painting, I'm curious what they say this one is, because I burned through this. And now, we back roll. You know what's really cool? This is still faster than using a paint tray. In fact, all of the options kind of are better than a paint tray now that I'm thinking about it. If you're doing a really large project, a lot of times you can get this skin that starts to dry over your tray, and that can start getting in your paint and on the walls, and it's no fun. It happened to us a little bit when we were priming the walls yesterday. Review time. What do I give it? Last tool was a 4 out of 5 stars. It was $25. This one is $100, but I give it 5 out of 5 stars. This is as advertised, no gimmicks. It's an innovation. And I really want to know your thoughts on this style video. I didn't really think painting could be very exciting, but trying out new tools could be. All 3 tools were fun to try out, and I love the fact that a couple of them were good and one of them was a bad option. That way I can hopefully keep you from making the same mistake. As you can tell, the Joshua Tree cabin renovation is really taking up shape, and I appreciate you all following along with me. If you don't know what it looked like when we started, I'll leave a link to the tour video from when I bought the place. We've still got a ton planned. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time on Modern Builds. Bye, everybody. It's from a trusted name, Wagner. Not sure how convincing that was. Whoa. Either way, I'm very excited to try this out.